Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today I'm going to be explaining some reworks and ideas I have for the game. I'm going to go in depth as much as I can with them to try and explain why I think they should be done and how they should be done. The first one that I think should be done is the objective rework. Everybody wants this. It's impossible to protect the president past round 25 on certain modes because, like, gas zombies spawn on it. Circle, it's impossible to stay on. Just a lot of things are impossible to do on objectives, especially on higher waves, so that's like a waste of gold. So that's why you gotta reset every so often. And it's just really annoying because you can't really do anything. You can't protect the president, you can't stay in the circle, you can't get sniper kills. Shotgun kills you could probably do, but that'd take a while. You're spending a lot of time not getting gold in your game, and it's just not worth it because, like, why play the match? Like, why do the objectives past round 20 if you're not even going to be able to get anything in the first place out of them? Now, the second thing I think needs to be done is the boss rework. Now, the boss rework, all you gotta do is stand still and every so often walk slightly to the side. Like, he'll throw a ball at you, a slice or something, this, that, the other. Special attack, you just gotta move a little bit, or just like dash to the side. That's all you gotta do. There is no real challenge, and plus, if you have a lot of health, he does like no damage to you, so there's no point in even moving. So what I think what needs to be done is he fully moves around, kind of like, you know how the Citadel Namor boss from Black Ops 6? Kind of like that, or like a Mephistopheles type boss, but just a boss that moves around the map, has special attacks, and it's like a genuine challenge. Like, obviously it's easy in the beginning, but it gets harder and harder and harder, like drastically. It's not like a minor thing, it's a drastic difference between easy and then it just gets harder, 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 like a lot harder and harder and harder. So it's an actual challenge to get past the waves, and you have the potential of dying even if you have every perk. And I'm not saying that the health should be buffed drastically, because I think it's good where it is now, but the difficulty definitely needs to go up. Now, I think there should be something. Gun prestiging. Now, a lot of people don't think this is a good idea. I originally didn't think it was a good idea because I don't like the thought of player prestiges in this game. But gun prestiging could be a thing with like a max level. So like, say for size, you got level like 50 or like 75. It's either the level stays the same, then you can prestige like 50, then 50, then 50, then 50, or if you didn't want to do that, it could go up like 50 to 60 to 70, or like so on and so on with any number. That's all you gotta do with it. And yeah, there isn't really anything else to say about that other than the rewards. So for prestiging your gun, you can get exclusive camos, like certain attachments, like or maybe you could have only a certain amount of attachments on your gun, then when you prestige, it increases, or so on. Like, you can only unlock a certain attachment if you have a prestige on a certain gun, or like a certain level, or like just like how it is now. I don't mind with the attachments, but I think any of that would be cool. Like, for that specific gun, you can only have a certain amount of attachments, and then after you get a certain amount of prestige, like one prestige, it goes up and up and up, and it's like 50 levels, 50 to 50 to 50, so it's like kind of easy to get, or like maybe 25 to 30 to 35 to 40 to 45 to 50, and 50 is the max level, max prestige, so you just keep your gun like that. That'd be a nice grind. I do really like that idea, so alright, that's the end of this one. I like the idea of more exclusive camos. Like, seriously, you had an in-game Easter egg, or like a side objective, or like from gun crates. It costed a lot more, like $1 million a crate, or like on the wall there's certain prices, like $1 million for this camo, 10 million for that, 100 million for this, 10k for that. Like, different variety depending on the camo and what it is and how rare it would be. Like, you could put it rare in there, so there's a reason to wait for it, but also the price differs. I think that would be a cool idea for the game, and the camos, but also like I said before, having what you call it, if you prestige your gun, you get the certain camo. So like, if you get max prestige, then you can easily just, like, you know, show off that camo, the mastery camo for getting max level on that gun, like specifically that gun. I think that would be really cool, because obviously camos are kind of lacking right now. They're just in shop or camo crates, and I think this variety would add a lot more to the camo table. And you don't even gotta like add a lot of camos. It's just like a simple 3, and that's part of that's already over. So let's move on to the next one. Now, what I think should happen for the seasonal stuff like Halloween, Valentine's Day, Easter, next Halloween, Thanksgiving, all those holidays, I think there should be more exclusive camos. It obviously earned a different way because buying it from the shop's a little weird if it's a seasonal, but also cosmetics. Like, obviously this one should have had a pumpkin head. Christmas should have, like, I don't know, something interesting. But I definitely do think that should be added, or like implemented more in the future, which definitely will happen. But I do think that should be added, and do think that's a part of what should have happened with this update. But then again, it was a smaller update, so it's kind of like an experiment. So I do think it's going to happen in the future, but for now we just gotta hope, you know. And there could be like a certain, like, you gotta unlock a certain amount of like seasonal XP to unlock things, or like do like things in game, like on a map, like a limited time map or something, or like on the already existing maps or something you gotta do, and it takes a while to grind for, considering you have like a good month to do it. So I think that would be cool. Alright, let's move on to the next thing. The next thing I want to talk about is Easter egg music. I know that's kind of complicated considering this game doesn't really, it can't really produce music, but I think like even something simple would be cool. Like each map has like a Easter egg song that you could activate by doing different things. Like on this map, something to do with those, or like certain objects are on the map that you could pick up, kind of like Ascension from BO1 or Kino. That'd be really cool, especially with certain maps, like, you know, you have Kingdom, you have Pierre, you have this map. They all have their own ways of doing it, and I think it's perfect if they ever plan that out. I think that it would really fit, and I think it'd be a really cool addition. You could just listen to specific Easter egg music depending on the map you're playing. That would definitely add a lot more players to each map, because having that Easter egg music would really bring something to the map, and I hope that they add something like that in the future, because it's a good idea, and Easter egg music just sounds cool in general. So it's not really else to say about that, so let's move on to the next thing I want to talk about. The next thing I want to talk about is secret objectives for rewards, like, you know, cosmetics or camos. So in like Call of Duty World War II, how zombies had the secret objectives to get like the secret characters, kind of like that, but for camos and cosmetics. Instead of like 4 to 5 challenges, it'd be like 1, obviously. But having a secret objective system would be really cool, especially if it gave you like cool rewards, like I said, cosmetics or camos. Not some useless of like cool stuff people would use. It doesn't even have to be that many of them. It could be added over time with like a short amount in the beginning. But I do think it would be really cool to have, and a lot of people would be going after them, trying to figure it out. Like there's nothing set on how to get them, and if nobody installed it for a while, obviously a hint. But I think this would be a really cool thing to get people like grinding the game, looking around. Maybe it's a specific map, maybe it's on every map, you never know. I think that type of system, hidden objectives, secret objectives, would be really cool to get stuff like that. Or like literally anything, but I mostly think it'd only work with camos and cosmetics. It'd be a really cool addition to the game, and give a more reason to grind and look forward to updates, because you never know if there's an extra objective. Or there could be like a menu like World War II, where you can see how many there are. Like if there was characters, you could see how many secret objectives there actually are, but you can't see the reward, and it doesn't tell you how to get them, you just know how many's in the game. Or if you didn't, it would bring a lot of mystery, because you'll never know if you've solved everything. And that would keep, it would be very cool. So I think that should be added. It sounds cool. I think a lot of people a lot of people can agree with me. So that's the end of this one, and I'll move on to the next thing now. The next thing I want to talk about is hardcore mode. Now, people like to say this game's too hard, but for people who play the game a lot, like me, like Hyper, like a lot of other people, the game is just too easy, especially if you have good pets and all that. So I think there should be a hardcore mode where you don't have pets. You keep your rarity, obviously, but like zombies' health could be nerfed, their damage could be nerfed, it doesn't matter. But you start with a pistol, just like before the attachment update. You have no attachments. You could have attachments or no attachments. It doesn't really matter. That doesn't really affect it. You could like make it so everything like you just since you'll have no cash bonus, everything goes back to its original price. Um, just everything pre-attachment update really, except it'll be a lot harder, like a lot harder. Like maybe instead of having all these difficulties, there was a one base difficulty. Like how about this? What if all your rarity was removed for that mode? And so there's just one more. Hardcore mode. You spawned in with a default pistol, and you had to work your way up with the box and all that, but you could only get 4 to 5 perks, so you'd have to really maneuver your way with them, and that would give this game a really good challenge. So like you're not getting every perk in the game, you actually got to think about what you're going to get. Obviously gas and fire should be reduced in damage, that should be a part of it. But yeah, 4 or 5 perks, and I think that would be really cool, like a hardcore mode, like what I just said. You spawn in with the pistol. Every door has its base price from 500 to whatever it was. I don't play easy mode, and I don't remember what they were pre-update. You had to get the mystery box to get those base weapons. Actually, no attachments, because that just increases your damage. So yeah, no attachments. You spin the box, you get whatever gun you want, and it's just... I think that would be a really cool addition, like actually genuinely a really cool concept. And yeah, I hope you guys agree with me there. So yeah, I'll see you in the next, what is it called? My next, whatever it's called. Now here are my perk ideas for the game, like different perks that could be added. Now, my first one I want to say, this might be very controversial, but it's Mule Kick. Now the only way I think Mule Kick would work in this game is if, obviously, hardcore mode, but also if your capacity in your gun was nerfed, so like you didn't hold, like obviously you see this 250 to 1200, that is a lot of bullets, and that would make the third gun basically useless because you're just going to be able to buy ammo and all that. So if there was a hardcore mode, or like they changed it in general for a normal game, I think you should have a limit to how much you can buy the crate, so like you'd actually have to respin the box, use it in the next round to refill your gun. Like it'd be really interesting, really. And then if you had Mule Kick, you wouldn't have to be spinning the box as much, possibly not at all. You'll have your refill, like 3 times around, and then you'll be all set, and yeah, and if you go down, obviously you lose your third gun. But I think that would be a cool concept, especially if you only had 4 to 5 perks. You really have to think, do I want Mule Kick or do I not? I think that would be really cool for Mule Kick. Now the next perk I want to talk about is Vulture Aid. Now if there was a 4 to 5 perk thing, or for base game this would be cool too. Basically, you can see the outline of the perks, obviously. No need for the box since it doesn't change location. But they drop like cash on the floor. This would be really good for hardcore actually. So they drop a little bit of cash on the floor, a little bit of ammo sometimes, like just a small amount. And that'd literally just be it. A balanced perk that has meaning, not too much meaning, so you kind of say, do I want this or do I not? Just like with Mule Kick, I think it'd be really interesting, especially to a hardcore type mode. Now the next the next perk I want to talk about is Quick Revive. I already suggested this in the server, and I do think it has potential to be added. There's nothing I really need to say about it, really. I'm not even going to say what I said, just know that Quick Revive makes sense for the game. The next thing I want to talk about, this might be very untalked about, but for certain maps, like the larger maps, Blood Wolf. Blood Wolf from BO4. Now, having a little buddy, like if you kill a certain amount of zombies, so like say for instance you killed 100 zombies, 100 to 150 zombies, you get a little like dog or something, and it would kill for like a good minute or two before disappearing, or like it would stay with you for like 5 minutes maybe, killing zombies, but not like really fast, like kind of slowly, like one zombie. Maybe it had a special attack too to kill multiple, so it was kind of balanced. That would have to be up to the devs though. And yeah, I think that would be really cool too for a classic hardcore type mode. Now the next perk I want to talk about is dead shot and a beard. I already know we have dead shots, literally right there. But what I've been saying for a while now is the Infinite Warfare dead shot. When you had it, it's called Dead I Do drops. I played a lot of Infinite Warfare. It completely got rid of your recoil, like entirely. So what I think it should do for this game is either entirely get rid of your recoil, like not even, I know recoil isn't a problem, but like it just doesn't make your screen shake at all. So it's like really satisfying. I think that would satisfy the player base a lot too, and give you a reason to get that shot, especially if we had a hardcore type mode, or like even this in general. Like this mode, I think it'd be really cool, cause like that would add something interesting to that shot. I know it does like a lot more damage to the head, but what if you nerfed the damage to the head just a little bit and added that? That would be really cool. I do really think that should be added. Now, that's all I want to say about Deadshot, and that's all I wanted to say about the perks, so let's move on to the next thing. The next thing I want to talk about, I really do want this to be added, like genuinely really badly, is the mini bosses. Now, kind of like the Panzers, like our version of it, the Hobo Johns, or basically it's a Hobo John inside of a Hobo John suit made of a Hobo John. So, like, it kind of worked like the witch from Buried, where if, like, the Panzer, it pulls you in and reels you in and just burns you to death. Instead of doing that, what if when it pulls you in, it just takes all your cash? I think for a classic mode, hardcore mode, that would be really good, because for one, you'll have to be saving money, because you have to be respinning the box, pack-a-punching, respinning the box, pack-a-punching, refilling ammo. I think for a hardcore mode, Hobo Johns, or if it was that way, it would be cool. Plus he does do a lot of damage too, so he'd like have a melee attack, and possibly sometimes when he reels you in, he has like a attack that he does, and the only way to escape it is by shooting his hand, and then explodes, and then he lets you go. That would be cool. Or like a Brutus type thing, or a George Romero. That would be really cool. Literally any type of special mini boss for a map, like it spawns every couple rounds, maybe once every rounds in the later rounds, or like, you know what I mean, just a mini boss. Not like how Call of Duty does it, that's bad, like 400 manglers around, like 700 mimics around. I think it would be cool to have mini bosses though, like, especially if every map had their own specific mini boss. Like, the smaller maps can have a certain one, but the larger maps, like, I just think every map should have their own mini boss. Like, Hobo Johns could go on one. Possibly all of them, because he's such a cool idea, but I think the mini boss should fit the map's style. And I think that's a really good idea, mini bosses. It would give the game more challenge, but also make it more interesting, because you gotta go into a map knowing which one you're gonna fight, and it would just bring a lot more challenge and fun to the map. So I really hope that that's a potential thing that could be added to the game too. So that's all I want to say about the mini bosses. Let's move on to the next thing, and the final thing. Now I know this might sound crazy. Call me crazy for this, but this might be one of the most controversial opinions that this game might ever have. A gobble gum type system. I know that sounds crazy, but like, what if, like for like a hardcore type mode, or like even this base, like you made the zombies a lot harder, or like nerfed the damage or something? What if there were specific gobble gums to make the gameplay more interesting, and you had to earn the gobblegums? So like, I really think it would be cool, like if you think about it, like you earn gobblegum, you have to use them wisely, there's different rarities. I think this would probably be one of the only Roblox games that have that type of system. It doesn't have to be gobblegums, obviously, it could be literally anything. But I do feel like it would be cool to have like a little system where you have certain things, like a gobblegum, a potion, a chocolate coin, a literal finger, it doesn't matter, and you just get something out of it with different rarities and different purposes. I would really love to test that out. I would be more than honored to help with it, actually. That sounds great. And yeah, that's all I wanted to say for this video. So thank you guys for watching. Peace.